Hey, come on in. Sorry about that. This is a nightmare. Trying to get a new computer program up and running that's supposed to make my life better. Didn't exactly go that way. So we don't have high definition quite like I had wanted it, but come in, say hi, let me know you're here. Otherwise, it'll be just a second until I can get my thoughts straight. So I will start in just 1 second. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Rhonda. Y'all come on in. I'm going to have to manually adjust my camera now because I don't have my control anymore. It was working so perfect on the setup, but it wouldn't let me go live for some reason. So let me adjust my camera just a little bit. I don't have a tripod yet, so yeah, this is bare bones stuff here. Y'all, I'm sorry, hang on. I'll figure out a way to make this work. Oh, Lord. Still not a good view, but let's see what we can do about that. I can't zoom in anymore. I can't do anything like that. So, hey, guys. Thanks for coming. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Jeannie. Hey, Brenda. I appreciate y'all being here. I'm going to try my best to figure out how to read the comments. Jackie, just out of curiosity, is there a way for me to use my OBS controls for the video along with doing a manual live? Just out of curiosity. If I had been able to. Hey, Ursula. Hey, May. Y'all come on in, bear with me. This has been a technical difficulty kind of night. I need to wrap my brain about trying to redo everything because I can't zoom in anymore. So I'm going to have to. Oh, Lord. All right. I'm just going to go with it. Thank y'all for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm Susie. Hey. Tonight what we're going to do is we're going to do just a burlap and natural color wreath. We're going to do the Amazing Grace cross in the center of it. So we're going to bring in some black into it as well. This could technically go for an everyday wreath or kind of an Easter wreath. So, but I wanted to do an everyday wreath. And I saw this cross, and I'm thinking that would be really pretty in some burlap. So, for those of you who are new to wreath making, I'm going to try to go kind of step by step and tell you what I'm doing. Let me see. I think y'all can pretty much see. So what I'm going to do, a lot of you I know that are in here are probably wreath makers, but I'm going to talk to you as though you're not, because sometimes people that come in to look at these are confused about what's going on. So what this is here is called a work form. It's a round work form. It's a 15-inch work form. It is tiered, so it's thick. So this is going to be a very thick wreath when we're finished with it. And a work form this size generally has 18 ties on it, the top and the bottom ring. So we've got all of our ties here. So there are a total of 18 ties. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I'm going to try to read your comments as well. And let me know if you have a question. Jackie, beam me in if you see a question I'm overlooking somehow. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all so much for coming. I really appreciate this. See Doris and May and Laura, Denise. Wow, lots of people. Oklahoma. Tell me where you're from. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 30-inch strips of this poly burlap. Let me see if I can find the... Oh, well, it's called poly burlap. It's a little thicker than normal mesh, but we'll set this aside while I cut my strips. So because I have 18 ties on my work frame, I need to cut 18 of these strips. So let me get I'm going to use a rotary cutter to cut these with. It just makes it a whole lot quicker. So I'm going to move this to the side. And my mat is not very big, so I have to eyeball this. So I'm just going to start cutting 30-inch strips. And yes, I'm guessing at them. Let me get my roller just a little bit further out of the way. This is something my husband built me that just makes it so much faster. 2, 3, 4. That one got cut crooked. Seven. One of these days I need to have somebody in here with me reading comments, and I need a little elf to come help me. This new technology gets me, y'all, and I consider myself fairly computer savvy. I've done a lot of studying and classes and all that kind of stuff on all this stuff. I have no idea what went wrong on that. So I had it all set up cute too. Y'all, it was cute. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12. 13. 14. Oh, I probably just ruined my blade. 15. 16. 17. And 18. Okay, got a pile of burlap. Anybody have a question? I'm located in South Haven, Mississippi. I am a stone's throw away from Memphis. So I'm like technically in the Memphis area, but it's in South Haven, Mississippi. And yes, this is a poly burlap. I don't work with real burlap. A lot of you may not know, but real burlap, working with it, especially if you work with it a lot, can be a hazardous to your health. I always work with poly burlap. It's just, you don't get all the fibers in your lungs and stuff, and it can really, really cause problems. Okay, so I've got my 18. I hope I didn't miscount, so I'm going to move my mesh roller out of the way. All right. I'm going to move some of these down off the table. I don't know what it is about this new, not new, but this farmhouse rustic look. I think Joanna Gaines kind of started a movement on that, and y'all, I love it. Absolutely love it. So that's what I'm going for here, and these are my ribbon choices. Because the cross is my screen backwards? To me, it looks normal. Can y'all read that? Anybody tell me if they can read it? Let me see if I think my comments froze. I think my comments froze. Turn my volume on. Okay. Thank you for the likes and stuff, guys. I really appreciate that. I'm so nervous. I am so new to this. It's not even funny. I didn't make my first wreath until October or September. And so I'm very new to this. And I'm looking at your comments. You're so sweet. Thank you so much. If I haven't acknowledged your name, please forgive me. Your presence here means everything to me. All right. I didn't know you were in South Haven. Been watching you. You're probably my neighbor. Where do you live, Carrie? Carrie Strickland, you're my neighbor? That's funny. Thank you, Denise. I appreciate that. Y'all are giving me some love. That means so much to me. Okay, so what do y'all think? We've got the burlap. And then I've got this burlap with a lacing over the top of it, which I thought was really pretty. I've got this that's got, I don't know if you can see it very well. It's got just a tad of sparkle, but it is a burlap kind of canvas base. Not burlap, but a canvas base. This is my favorite. Since we're doing Amazing Grace, it's got black crosses on it. So I'm going to try to incorporate some black. I know a lot of you think black doesn't go with the cross. But let me tell you something. Black goes with everything right now. I mean, black is even going in Valentine wreaths this year. So black was big at Christmas. So the polka dots, the canvas tan polka dots are khaki. I've got a small, it's a Swiss dot with white Swiss dot and some black and tan. Not quite sure what all I'm going to use in the tails yet, but right now I'm going to put the burlap on it. And we're going to rock and roll this out while y'all watch. Just hang in there. If you have a comment, please don't hesitate to ask if I miss it. I'm pretty sure Jackie's in here watching, and she'll send me a message, answer a question. Or Jackie, you answer the question for me. Jackie's my friend. Okay, so what do we do here? I've got a 30-inch strip of burlap. Y'all saw me cut them. And I'm going to do the ruffle technique. And what you do is you just lay it down flat, and you just hold it in the center, and you start ruffling. It's a very simple process, very easy to do. And when you get through, you've got literally like a bow tie. But the burlap is a little thicker than normal mesh, which is good because it makes a very full, beautiful wreath. And I'm going to lay that down. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. I'm laying that down tight inside that twist. And I'm going to press it to the frame real tight and twist it one good time. And what I do is I take it, and it's sort of like a rosette when it first starts off, and then you just work your way around. I think I'm going to have to raise my table. I think Jackie raised hers and had to let it back down because of her back. We'll see what I'm going to do. I'm not sure. Okay. When you're working with normal mesh, it's not quite that thick in the center, but the burlap is thicker. And you want to go around the bottom first. And it's just going to get thicker and thicker and thicker as we go. Any questions? Love the cross. I do too, Sherry. I do too. The song Amazing Grace has a lot of meaning to me. My mother is she was a professional singer. And then my dad went into the ministry when I was a teenager. So my mother started singing for the church. So every church that my dad pastored, my mother sang, and she's sung conferences and all kinds of stuff. But Amazing Grace is one of the songs that she sings that is my favorite. I mean, she just nails that song, and I love it. Okay. So as you can see, we're only doing the bottom row so far, and as you can see, it's already getting really big and filling out really nicely. Any questions, anybody? 300 people in here watching. Wow, guys, thank you. From Illinois. Trisha, you're an hour and a half from Memphis. Where is that at? Whereabouts? I had a totally different project planned for tonight. It was a little overly ambitious. I started to do a frame that I had never worked with before, and I'm thinking, oh, this is a piece of cake. I can do this. Well, let's just say I need to work on that, practice that one before I bring it to you. New Orleans. Hey, Judith. If y'all don't mind, I am a new business, and I am just getting started on my Facebook, as you can see, because I don't have very many likes. But I'm working on that. I did set a goal, and I reached my goal. I set a goal to get 400 likes before the end of the year, and I've exceeded that, so I'm happy. And but if you have a friend that would enjoy learning how to do this, please like and share this on your personal page. I would really appreciate it, or even on your business page, because I know some of you guys are wreathers, and it's one thing I love about this wreathing community is everybody supports one another, and I just appreciate y'all so much. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me good? Can someone tell me if they can hear me good? Or do I need to wear this clip mic? Does that make it better? The burlap pieces are 30 inches long, give or take. I don't make it an exact science, but it's pretty much 30 inches strips. The mesh itself is 10 inches wide, so they're 10-inch rolls. Burlap does spray a lot. Even if it is the poly burlap, it does spray more than usual. But to me, I know this sounds crazy, but to me, the fraying of the burlap adds to the rustic charm of the wreath. So I don't get concerned about the burlap fraying at all. Like right here, there are some strings and stuff. Doesn't bother me a bit. I love it. Now, if they get out of hand, I'll go back and trim them up some. But for the most part, I love it like that. Okay. Comments are unfroze. Thank you for sharing, y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. The hearts. Oh my God, y'all are warming my heart. I appreciate that so much. My first live that I ever did was to give away a wreath to try to get my name out there. And I think I had 9 people show up. Literally, 9 people showed up. But, you know, it helped me to get my feet wet. And then I'm thinking, okay, I can do this. And took on a project that was way out of my comfort level to do a double snowman. You'll have to look that one up. That was a train wreck. Literally a hot mess train wreck making those double snowmen because I ran out of my mesh. And I'm extremely organized and thought I had enough mesh, but I didn't. So oh, it was a train wreck. But I got through it. It took forever, but I got through it. And what was funny is that they were a custom order. A friend of mine wanted them for her business, and so the stress of getting those done was something else. But what really got me was I hopped on a day or two before Christmas wrapping presents, and just hopped on, no makeup, nothing, to show a gift wrapping trick. And then it got so many views, I was like, okay, I got to get back in the saddle. Jackie's been telling me all this time, you got to get back in there, you got to get back in there. Just because you've had a train wreck doesn't mean they're all going to be a train wreck. But you're never going to succeed if you're not willing to fail. So, anyway, oh, I'm missing so many comments, y'all. I'm so sorry. Where did you get your burlap roll holder? Y'all, this is one of those things that, really? Sorry, guys. I just had an alarm go off on my phone. This is one of those things that I dreamed up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And the next day, I drew it on a piece of paper and handed it to my husband. And I said, will you please make me a dispenser to roll out my not burlap, just any mesh. And he had it made for me within an hour and a half. It was wonderful. It holds a 21-inch roll as well. And it would hold ribbon if my dowel rod wasn't so thick. So I am considering putting a thinner dowel rod in it just to hold ribbon spools. So, but anyway, but this is a homemade, and he just cut a hole in this end. He's got a piece of 1x board here, 2x4 on the bottom, another piece of 1x, and he just took a drill bit and kept chomping away until he got that well in there, so it lifts up. And I put tape on it to keep it from pulling all the way through because it was starting to get on my nerves. But y'all, if you cut a lot of mesh, make you one. Get your husband to make you one. Or Jackie, you need to make you one. Jackie's like me. She's got more power tools than the men do. All right. Oh, Lord of mercy. What we got here? My son set me up with the fingerprint thing. You know what I'm talking about? The security thing on your phone with the fingerprint. And I always try to do it with the wrong finger. The wreath is 15 inches, yes. The burlap, you can get this from Craft Outlet. Just make sure it's the poly burlap, not real burlap. Real burlap, I said this earlier in the video, but real burlap has got a health hazard because of the fibers that get up in the air and you breathe them in, and they can really cause some serious lung damage. Anytime you work with burlap, either wear a respirator or work with poly burlap because it doesn't do that. But yes, these are 30-inch strips. I'm ruffling, and I'm tying one ruffle into each of the ties that came on the work wreath. Each one of these opens up, and putting it in the tie. If I can find the other part of it. There it is. I don't know about y'all, but I'm glad that Christmas is over. I love it. Can't wait for it to get here. And ready to get it down. I was kind of hoping that I would wake up to my tree being gone, because I've got one of these husbands that likes to, he lets me do all the decorating. He takes all the taking down. He takes everything down, stores it away the way I want it stored, and puts it all away in the attic, sometimes before I ever wake up in the morning. So it's wonderful. He pulls it all down, I decorate. He takes it down and puts it all up. So he's a dream. Let me do that one again. It didn't work out very well. A lot of people have told me that he should make some of those, but Lord of mercy, I don't know. I'd rather give you the dimensions and the designs and let you make them. I'll ask him, though. I will ask him. because I already know a way to perfect the design. I think it needs double bars. What do y'all think? So when you're cutting two different meshes at once, to have double bars on it, so it's side-by-side bars. Yeah, that's what I think. But on a normal wreath, especially during Christmas, I had so many orders coming in so fast. Y'all, that saved me so much time. It wasn't even funny how much time that saved me. Okay, the whole bottom row is done. Now we're going to fill it in with the top row, and you're going to see some serious filling in with this top row. A white spring curtain rod works great. Oh, that sounds good. Anything would work as long as you've got a dowel rod that your mesh will spin on. Absolutely. You know what I was looking for to begin with? Those old wooden, you know, the old-timey wooden paper towel holders that mounted under your kitchen cabinets? I started off looking for one of those and couldn't find one. They didn't make them anymore. They're all those dinky plastic things now. And I looked for one. And when I couldn't find it, I thought, well, I'll just get my husband to make it because he's got so much scrap wood out in my garage. And sure enough, he put it together for me, and I told him to make it longer so I could put two spools or one long spool on it. And, I mean, he had that bad boy put together in an hour and a half probably. Okay, so now I'm going to start on the top row. Get on my burlap. Can y'all hear me better with this on my the mic on my lapel? Or was it the same when I wasn't wearing it? The wreath is a 15-inch work frame. Yes, I'm putting a ruffle in each tie, and there's 18 ties on the frame. And they come like that. Some frames come without the ties, and, you know, you can build them yourself, but, y'all, I like them pre-done. I like to buy the work frames. It just saves so much time, so much effort. But there's a place called Craft Outlet, and you can go online, and they sell all this stuff. Everything that I'm showing you here today, even though I did purchase locally. And if you live locally, I can tell you where I got it, but they don't have a website. But Craft Outlet, you can get every bit of this there. So we're using all the ties for the burlap. There's 2 layers of rings. As you can see, I've got a ring here and a ring here that's got the ties on it. So I'm doing a bottom layer and a top layer, and I'm working on the top layer right now. We're almost done with the base. The base of your wreath is everything. If you don't build a good base, your wreath is not going to lay right. It's not going to be pretty. Your ribbons aren't going to look good. So you want to make sure you take the time to build a good base. So you want to be consistent. And sometimes it's real easy to skip one, but I'm going to try real hard not to. And each time as I go, I refluff. Okay, it's showing that I still need 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 5. Oh, they fell off the other side of the table. Let me go get them. I envy these people that have these big sprawling craft rooms. I'm not complaining. I feel very blessed to have my craft room. Don't get me wrong. But I don't have the correct equipment at the moment. I don't have a tripod or anything, so everything is just jerry-rigged. So soon, I had thought I was going to have a nice little system here to where I could zoom in and zoom out and talk to you a little easier, but that will be my next live. I'll have to get that perfected. I've had the camera forever. I've just never played with what it can do. And I tried to get a new program downloaded, and it just, I worked on it all day yesterday, part of the day today, and I thought I had it set up correctly, and it just didn't work. Didn't know what I was doing, I guess. The wreath size is a 15-inch. So how many of y'all are in the wreathing community? My live feed froze on my phone. Let's see here. Australia. Wow. Hey, Paula. Wisconsin. Hey, Donna. Hey, Terry. This is a ruffle wreath. The method, I guess, is what you would call it. It is a ruffle. There's a bunch of different methods that you can use on a wreath. For some reason, I like the ruffle simply because I can control the shape of the wreath just a little bit better with it. I like the curl method too. I almost did that one, but with the burlap, because it ravels so bad, I changed my mind on that. All right, we're almost done with this part. Where do I buy locally? There's a little place here in town. It's a mom and pop type organization. It's in South Haven, Mississippi. It's called House to Home. Y'all, their prices are better than Craft Outlet. And I'm not kidding. But you have to get it when they get it in, because once they run out, you know. But it's a great place to get mesh. It's a great place to get work forms. But Craft Outlet does carry all of this stuff. And in the video that I had set up to do, it was going to give you a list of everything that I had done, the dimensions and everything. But by now, you all know these are 30-inch strips ruffled, tied into each tie. This one's really fraying. All right, we got 2 more. Wow, I measured correctly, or counted correctly. That's a new one. How many people are wreath makers in here? Tell me if you're a wreather. Susan, Jackie sent you. Thank you, Jackie. I hope y'all are sharing this with your friends and or your business page, or it really, really means a lot to me. I posted in Damon's group I was going to be live. I was kind of hoping that Damon would pop in, or any of y'all from Damon's group. I'm in Jackie's group. Jackie's monthly wreath club, Jackie's Wreaths and Things, which is amazing. I've learned so much from Jackie. I'm in Damon's inner circle and his Wreath Chateau. I'm in all these groups, or both of these groups. And these guys, their hearts are to teaching people. Y'all see with the strings I'm pulling off, right? It's burlap ravels. And that's one of the things that I love about working with it, because it just makes it more rustic. You've been doing wreaths. They're going fast. A little scared to start, Missy. Did one craft show. You know, every one of my local friends were screaming, you've got to get the craft shows going. You've got to get in the craft shows. Y'all, I can't even wrap my brain around setting up a craft fair right now. I had rather post my wreaths on Etsy or sell them locally than set up at craft fairs, because I have seen so many craft fairs that are just no traffic. I don't know. And it's so much work. You've got to have the display stands. You've got to have enough product to fill it up so it doesn't look pitiful. I know a lot of y'all do craft fairs, and I'm jealous that y'all can do it and still produce product, but it's hard for me to stay focused on making wreaths if I've got to worry about setting up displays and stuff like that. So, all right, hang on just for a split second. I'm going to come up just a hair. I came up too much that time, so I'll move it back down in just a second. Well, let me move. Y'all, y'all are being very patient. Okay. Lord of mercy. Jackie, I was really looking forward to having that remote control to control this. It is what it is. This is what you call winging it right here, folks. Okay. These are the ribbons. I think I showed y'all the ribbons, what we're going to use. But what I want to do now is I want to cut my tails. I'm going to cut some ribbon tails that I'm going to put in the wreath. And I'm thinking that I'm going to alternate a couple of them instead of doing them all the same. So I'm going to unload my spool holder. I have got to get some additional spool holders, that's for sure. But I'm going to cut my ribbon in 14-inch strips. What am I doing? This is my spool holder that I use to measure my ribbon with. Let me see, I'm going to do, okay. I'm going to take 2 ribbons on my spool holder here. This comes with your Pro Bow, which you're going to see me do in just a second, but this is the spool holder for the Pro Bow. And the end pegs are exactly 14 inches apart, which is how long I want my ribbon tails. So it's just real simple. You take your ribbon, and I need 18 of them because there's 18 ties in the wreath. So I'm going to wrap this 9 times. I'm just going to lift it up out of there, find my center. I've got to get some good scissors. I have gone through about 10 pairs since I started this, and I'm down to using leftover scrapbooking scissors. Yes, you heard me right. Scrapbooking scissors. Reether, Marcia, or Marcia. Post all groups you're in. I would love to join them. I am in Jackie's Recent Things is her public page. And she's got a private group called Jackie's Monthly Wreath Club. Jackie, post a link to your page on here. And Damon's group is his public page is Deco Exchange, and then he's got private groups that you can join. He's got an inner circle, and he's got one called Inside the Wreath Chateau. But Damon and Jackie, there's so many other people that I have learned from, but Jackie and Damon are the 2 that I think I have learned the most from. Jackie and I have become pretty good buddies, and so I'm really learning a lot from her. I do a lot of her techniques. I do a lot of Damon's techniques too. So, all right, what I'm doing here is I'm dovetailing the ends of these. You see that? And all I do is take a couple of them. Sometimes I try to cut too many at one time, and you fold it. You see it? And you cut from the fold up to the corner through the wire. And you, well, that one didn't do very well. Let me get it straight. And then you get a perfect dovetail. And I do this on both ends. And it just gives your wreath a real finished look. I think I dovetailed these. It's kind of weird. My son, my 35-year-old son and 11-year-old grandson live with us. And so they're not for much longer, but they're just, this is a temporary stop for them. And so my son and grandson are gone. And me and my husband actually have the house to ourselves for the first time in a long time. So we don't know how to act. And so he's like, "You're doing a live? First time we get the house to ourselves." So, but anyway, he's in there catching up on Fear the Walking Dead. I know that's crazy, but we love The Walking Dead. And we watched the Fear the Walking Dead. And he missed last season of Fear the Walking Dead, so he's in there catching up on his little marathon. Any of y'all watch those shows? I do need an assistant. What did I miss, Mary? You love my shells? Y'all, there's a story behind these shells. And you can't see the one that's over here. This shelf right here, I found on a sales page on Facebook, a local page, where a man had custom built it for his home. And they moved and didn't have a place for it. And it was already this color and everything. So I bought it from him for like, oh, I don't know, $60 maybe. And then I'll give you a good look at it. It goes all the way up. It's almost 8 feet tall. And it's got the pretty trim on it. And then my husband found this shelf. I don't know if you can see it good or not. And it was probably the same color as my tabletop. And we painted it the same color as this one. And then my husband finished it out with the same trim. So they kind of match. And they come in handy because I love to be able to put my bins and stuff on them. So I know I just made y'all busy doing that. I'm sorry. So if I can't get back to where I was. I'm making y'all seasick. So anywho, that's my cheap. The cabinet that my husband redid for me was free. They threw it away where he works, y'all. He got it out of a dumpster. We're throwing it away. Perfectly good cabinet. It has a door at the bottom and everything. So it's crazy. I like to curb shop. Any of y'all like to curb shop? Y'all know what curb shopping is? Okay, the garbage around my neighborhood runs at Wednesdays. On Tuesday nights, Tuesday afternoons. One of my favorite things to do is go curb shopping. I have found more finds curb shopping. I've got a granddaughter that likes to go with me too, and we will find stuff and bring it home and refurbish it and all that good stuff. All right, I got my next ribbon. I'm gonna, do I want to do this on the tails? It doesn't have a lot of, it's kind of uneven. I think I'm gonna do this one. This one's a little bit thicker. And I love this lace, or lace look. It's not true lace. How many lives have I done? I bet you can tell not very many. I'm brand new to this thing. Brand spanking new. So here again, I've got my next ribbon. I'm going to cut 18 of them. 2, 4, 5. How many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9. I may have just cut one more than I needed on that, but that's fine. So I have some Walking Dead fans in here too. And y'all know what's funny is I don't like the blood and gore of it. I don't. I can't stand it. I have to cover up my face when it gets to that part. One of the reasons why I enjoy watching it so much, if you've never watched it and want to go back, you can always catch up on it before the new season starts. You can always, they replay every single season before the next one starts. But I love the community part of it and how people work together and the different social aspects of it and how they survive and stuff. So I'm real big on survival stuff. So Game of Thrones, oh my God. My son talked me into watching that with him. I gotta tell you, as interesting as the story is, the grandmother in me, y'all, that stuff, let's just say it's not appropriate for TV. How about that? And if anybody lets their children watch Game of Thrones, they have lost their mind. Because but my son's 35, and he talked me into watching it with him, and I'm just like, I gotta leave the room for this one. He go, I'll fast forward. Because I can't, that's just awful. I'm not about all that kind of stuff. Have I got some unhappy people? What did I miss? Did I miss some angry faces? That's okay. Thank you for loving my craft room. I appreciate that. It's small. It's just a bedroom in my house. And when our kids moved out, I turned this room. I've always wanted one. And I turned this room into my craft room. So when my son moved back for a little while, him and my grandson are in the same bedroom because he didn't want me to give up my craft room and I didn't offer. So they're sharing a room. So it's working out fine. Paula, the only thing that I can say is that this video will be available for replay. If I'm taking too long to do this, I'm sorry, but I'm going to do it the correct way on live so people will know exactly how to do it correctly. And this is the longest, most time-consuming part, but you are free to back out and come back and watch the replay. I would love for you to see the finished product. But a lot of people don't understand, you know, the concept of alive, and I get that. And also a lot of people don't understand that there's a lot of people that are really new to this and are not as seasoned as the experts are. Okay, so now we're going to rock and roll on the tails. So they're 14 inches long, and one's got to go, I'm going to put 2 in each tie. See if I can't, without adjusting my camera, see if I can't get this back in your view. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to take good side to good side and fold them in half. And I like to make a crease there because it makes your ribbon stand up nice. And then I gather, just pinch and gather inside that crease. And you'll notice that the bow pulls of the tails pull up just a little bit. And I'm going to go find every one of those ties. And I'm going to do that all the way around. I'm going to adjust my camera a little better so y'all can get a more close up. And what I'm doing is I'm alternating. So if the lace one is going to go at the bottom on this one, I want it to be at the top on this one. And I'm not crisscrossing them all the way this way. They're all sort of pointing out towards the edge. Let me adjust my camera to where you can actually see it better. Like I said, my remote control didn't work. Okay, is that better? Well, I'm not paying attention to the negative, so I'm just going to move on. Handle them, Jackie. If I knew how to make you an admin on here, I would, so you could boot them out. But you know what? Negative comments, all that stuff actually helps me. So, see if I can do this backwards so y'all can kind of see. There's a tie there. Hey, Marilyn. My friend Marilyn's here. Considering putting my daughter and granddaughter in the same room so I could have my craft room. Catherine, you know what? For years, I wouldn't do the craft room because my kids were still young, and you know, they went through spells to where, you know, they wanted to move out on their own, and then they realized they probably did it a little soon and would come back and leave again and would come back. And so when they got married, I wanted a guest room. So when they did come, or when the grandkids started coming along, I wanted them to have a room. So I have a very small house, just 3 bedrooms. And so I was really, really torn for a long time about being, in my mind, selfish and claiming a room just to myself. And my husband and my kids were all just real supportive about it. I told them, I says, this means that if you come visit, you might have to sleep on a blow-up bed or the couch. Literally. So, but it's worked out really good. If any of you have ever read my story, I think I've got it on my Pinterest board, not my Facebook board. But there's kind of a story behind me having my playroom. When I was a little girl, probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 maybe at the most, I wanted a playhouse so bad. And I prayed every night for there to be a playhouse in my backyard when I woke up the next morning. I did this every night. And every morning I would wake up and go running to the back window. And of course the playhouse wasn't there. Well, you know, the faith of a child, I just kept praying and kept praying and kept asking God for this playhouse. Well, to make a long story short, I never once mentioned this to my parents. This was between me and God, you know, me and God. And the playhouse never happened. And it was just one of those things that I just accepted as a child. And, you know, it was just one of those things. Well, I shared that with my husband one day after we got married. And I told him, I said, you know, I don't know whatever possessed me to not tell my parents that that was such a big burning desire of mine, because my daddy would have moved hell and earth to get me that playhouse if he had known what I was doing and how much it meant to me. But I never told him. So anyway, my husband says this is the playhouse I never got. My craft room is my oasis. It's the place where I come and play, pray, contemplate. I don't know about y'all, but crafting is therapy for me. Literally therapy. If I'm having a bad day, if I've got stress on me, which there's been a lot lately, this is where I want to be. This is my crafting. This is my haven. What? I have no idea, Jackie, what they're saying. But I appreciate y'all sticking in there and giving me some love. I see the love coming through, and I mean, it means the world to me. Because I think quite a few of you know what it feels like to be new at doing lives. You know what it feels like to be new in the wreathing community. And this is just part of getting my feet wet, part of learning how to do it correctly. And I want to get to the point where my lives are not going to all be wreaths. I'm going to do some craft projects. It's not all about wreaths. So if you're into crafting and you're not into wreathing, you might want to like and follow my page, because I've got all kinds of really cool stuff coming up. Has any of y'all seen the Barbie furniture that I made? Have any of y'all looked at that? Thank you for liking the ribbons, Anita. I like them too. I want it to have a real natural, kind of an organic look to it. I don't know how long I've been live, so I hope I'm not dragging this out forever. Okay, that's the bottom row. Now I'm going to start on the top row and do the same thing. Oops. I always fold them inside to inside. That crease to me is very important, because if you don't do the crease, then your ribbon tends to want to get buried in your wreath, and the crease helps lift it up out of there. Also, to always use wired ribbon, and I'm learning there's a big difference in ribbon. You can find good ribbon at Hobby Lobby and Michael's and all that kind of stuff, but if you ever want to experience quality ribbon, buy from Craft Outlet, because their ribbons have really nice weight to them and have a good texture to them. And they hold up really, really pretty. Any questions? My husband is supportive. I tell you, I'm blessed. There's women waiting in line when I kick the bucket. Literally. He helps with housework. He helps with laundry. He does a little cooking, not much. But he's organized like I am, so we're kind of neat freaks when it comes to keeping the house. And we both kind of had to give up on that a little bit with our kids moving home, but we try. But this is the one room that can get really bombed really fast, but I can't function until it's all put back. I gotta have it. Okay, as y'all can see here, I'm trying my best. I don't want my ribbons crisscrossing like this. I want all my ribbons to slightly go towards the outside. And that'll make sense in just a second. I like the cross ribbon too. In fact, it was what made me go back and get the black cross to put in the wreath. Because of, I don't know, I just thought this would either be an good everyday wreath and or Easter wreath. First time watching from Bainbridge, Georgia. My sister-in-law lives in Atlanta. Bainbridge is the name of my street. And that's something. It's kind of hard to do this at this angle. I'm hoping I'm going to have to go back and tweak some of these probably, because normally I work with them in front of me instead of reaching across. How many of y'all you have a pro bow? You know what a pro bow is? I'm fixing to use a pro bow to do the bows that are going to go on this, because this is not all the ribbon that we're using. I'm still waiting for my Valentine's stuff to come in. I've got Easter stuff I'm waiting to come in. Some of this stuff I ordered in November and December. Still haven't got here. I'm a little bit concerned. Okay. I'm one short on the cross. Where am I? Yeah, my husband's a keeper. I'm a ribbon snob too. I wasn't at first because I have got one huge hoard of cheap ribbon that now I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it. I might use it for some filler ribbons and stuff, but there's something about the texture and the weight of a good ribbon. And this is really not considered expensive ribbon. Okay, y'all, so here, let's see if I can get it. Move my camera back so you can get a better look at it now. I'm gonna hold it up. So this is our base. It's got the ribbon tails with the burlap 30-inch ruffles on each tie. And this is our base. I'm going to put some bows on it, but this is actually going to go in it as well. And right now I'm going to set all of this to the side and I'm going to work on bows. Get my pro bow out. So y'all like the ribbon choices so far? I like it. All right. A far cry from having the remote control like I had planned on having. I'm enjoying this. Thank you. Yes, there will be a replay. This is a Pro Bow. It's Pro Bow by hand. You can order it on Amazon. If you don't have one, y'all, if you want to learn how to make stunning bows that are perfect every time, the Pro Bow is your friend. Now, some people tie beautiful bows by hand. I actually know how, but I'm not a spring chicken anymore. And my hands, it's getting harder for me to hold so much ribbon at one time. Okay, y'all, let me ask you your opinion. These are the ribbon choices for the bows. I'm going to incorporate what little bit I have left of the cross ribbon in the center, but I'm also thinking about adding a touch of black. And then I have this. Can y'all see it? This black texture. I'm thinking this is going to be the touch of black that goes in it instead of the solid. All right. I'm trying to read your comments, y'all. Yeah, it is pretty just like that. And sometimes I'm really, really tempted to leave it like that. But I'm going to do at least one big bow. So I may end up doing 2 or 3. I don't know, but we'll just see. Let's see. How long is that? Okay. All right. It's going to be kind of hard for you to see exactly what I'm doing if you've never worked with a pro bow. But this will kind of introduce you to it. And Jackie in her group, she's got some tutorials close up with the camera on her shoulder, literally, doing pro bow demonstrations. So, and there's tons of them on YouTube. Here again, y'all, I'm going to dovetail the ends of my ribbon. And on this one, I'm going to do a solid burlap color, and this one here is solid, but it's got the white Swiss dot on it. So I'm going to start off with that. I don't like it when the crease starts there. I know Jackie's cringing with my scissors. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm wrapping the first one around. I'm not going to go into great detail on what I'm doing here because there's so many tutorials that you can watch. So I'm going to try to do this really quick while you watch without explaining a whole lot of what I'm doing because it's just too hard to explain it and do it at the same time. So. And I do mine a little bit differently than some of y'all. I know you're already going, oh, you don't do it like that. Well, there is a method to my madness. What I'm working on now is a terry bow. And you can look up on YouTube as well if you're not familiar with a terry bow. And you can learn how to make one. Terry, I forget what her last name is. Is it Terry Marshall? I think that came up with the terry bow. And you always want to make sure that the front of your ribbon is facing this way because this right here is the top of your bow. So the pretty part of your ribbon always goes up, and then I pinch, go around. This is when your spool holders really come in handy. This pin will not stay in for some reason. All right. And I'm gathering it at the back, pressing it towards this center peg here. Gathering it again. This time I twist it to go to this peg, come back, gather again. And because I've already got a tail on this side with it, I'm going to twist it, get my wire around it, tighten it. So I've got that ribbon. This is where I'm going to try to put in some of that cross. I don't have but one spool of it, so if I do more than one bow, this bow will be in the middle. I'm sorry if I'm not reading your comments, y'all. I promise when I get through with this video, I will go back and read every single one of them, because what you're saying is very important to me. I'm trying not to keep you too long. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a new piece of ribbon on each peg, and each piece of ribbon has 2 loops and 2 tails. It gives it a really, the cherry bow has just got a real wispy look. All right, let's see here. This is where I'm going to put in this pretty black. I'm not going to dovetail the black. In fact, I'm not going to do a tail on that at all. I'm just going to do a loop on that. And gather it. There's not a right or wrong side to it. And I'm going to do 2 loops. I think this black will really pop out. Got my polka dot, I've got my Swiss dot. Put this one in here. I appreciate y'all hanging in there with me, y'all. I love all y'all so much. It's such an encouragement. And I know a lot of you have already seen everything I'm doing a million times. Just to be here, it means everything for me. I've wanted to try to go a little slow because I'm sure there's some new people in here. This ribbon is pretty, but it's kind of has a weird shape to it. It doesn't want to be straight. Okay. And now I think I'm going to come back with just a solid burlap. And then we'll see if it needs another bow. I'm thinking one bow might do this because the wreath is pretty without the bow. So we'll see if we can get by with one bow. The key to this is to twist it before you go to the next loop. So your pretty side always stays up. But like I said, there are a million, and I mean a million, YouTube videos out there on doing the pro bow. I know a lot of people already have this particular wire woven into it. I don't do that. I I just feed it in through the center. I can kind of show you what I'm doing. I'm going to press really, really tight. And then I'm going to lift it up out of here. And that's what your bow looks like coming out of a pro bow. And this is a fluff box, a homemade fluff box at that. I wanted one, but I wanted it that day. So I went out in the garage and got some scrap wood and made it myself. Super heavy, but it makes fluffing a bow so easy. As you'll see, if you can see, it's just scrap wood. There's an eye hook right here, and then there's a nail on the side. And I just run my wire through the eye hook, tie it off on the nail on the bottom, and then I start fluffing. So what I do is I take a loop and a tail and separate it. And on the next layer, I put the loop on this side and the tail on this side. And because these are both loops, I'm just going to separate those like that. Alright, my tail is on this side, so we're going to take a loop on, no, tail on this side, loop on this side. And I can always go back and play with it some more. Gonna do the same thing. The loop and the tail. Tail and the loop. On these, the loop and the loop. Loop-de-doo. Open up all your, but as you can see with the terry bow, it has a very wispy look to it. See that? Going to have just enough black in it to pull the black out in the cross ribbon and the cross itself. So what do y'all think? I will put a link in here to Pro Bow. I can put an Amazon affiliate link in here if you want to buy one. They're especially if you've got arthritis, makes a huge difference. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and attach this bow. And I want it to stand up real nice on top, so I don't want to push it down in there too far. And all I'm doing is I'm taking the wire, running it through the mesh, all the way to the back of the frame. And I've got both of my wires here. And I'm going to secure that and wrap it around a couple of times to make sure if it's out in the weather, it won't get beat up. It'll be nice and secure. And I'll come back and trim those in just a second. So I'm thinking about having the bow to the side and the cross to the side. What do y'all think? And please put the Pro bow closer to me. I'm so sorry I missed that. But when I first started doing this video, I had it set up to where I could zoom in, zoom out, and all of that. And I had to go totally manual at the last minute. So I apologize that my technical stuff is not working very well. Okay, now the sign that I'm going to put in here is thin. It's thin wood, okay? But I want to make sure that it is secured in the wreath really good without damaging the cross. Get the bright orange sticker off of it. This does have a wall hanger hook to it. I will utilize that, but I do need to put some ties on it. And that's the downside of having a room like this that is full of craft supplies, and I mean ridiculous craft supplies. And my grandson or my grandkids like to come in here and use stuff, which is fine. I encourage it. But I was looking for black pipe cleaners, and they're all gone. So that's okay. Gammy, you'll get some more. You'll see what I'm looking for in just a split second, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'll just use the screen. It's not going to show anyway. This is the peel and stick foam board that you can get at the craft stores. Because this is so thin, I don't want to staple my chenille stems or pipe cleaners to it without some protection that the staples are not going to go through. So I like to pad it. I have my staple gun. just want to make sure I double check the size of the staple in here because I want it to be a 1/4 inch staple. And I put 2 layers of foam. Sorry, I'm doing this backwards. I've got 2 layers of foam right here. And press down nice and tight so it grabs. But the foam keeps it from coming through on this side. So you've got a nice tight grab. And I am going to resort to using the white one. And I will go back and put black ones on it later. Or I might even go back and do the burlap color ones. My hands are so dry from this cold weather and working with wreaths. My nails, I used to have nails. Now they're just a hot mess. I can't keep fingernails anymore. Okay. I'm going to adjust my camera again so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to have to go back and foof on that some more. But I'm thinking the one bow is good. I'm going to try to find my placement. Let me turn it around just for a second so I can see it. You know what? I think I want the bow on the other side. Run that pipe cleaner to the back. Grab it onto the frame. Without getting it too deep in there. I don't want it to get buried. I'm not good at working backwards, y'all. This is usually the trickiest part, getting your pipe cleaner to go through your mesh. Let me forget the stand for a second. I'm learning though. Practice, 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 y'all. It takes practice. And when you've got people watching you do it, it never goes according to plan, ever. All right, I'm on to something now. And then I'm going to secure the bottom one. Thank you for the hearts, guys. I appreciate it so much. I think next time I do this, I'm going to have somebody read comments for me because it is so hard for me to focus on what I'm doing. All right, let me try this one, okay? I'm going to have to adjust my cross up. I think my cross needs to come up in more of a, where is it? Let me do it more of an angle and put it up a little bit further. All right. Yeah, he needs to come up and over a little bit, but I'll adjust him and all the ribbon tails, so. And my ribbon, of course, gets squished. I'll have to play with my bow too. But anyway, you get the gist of what I was going for there. I appreciate y'all coming in so much. I can't wait to go back and read your comments. I'm so sorry I couldn't do both. I will get better at this, I promise. Let me see if I can see some of the questions now. Where did you get the holder? That is a simple $3 wreath holder that I got in the wreath department at Michael's. It was like literally $3. 25 minutes. Let's see here. Thank you, Carol Miller. I appreciate that. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, everybody. Y'all making me feel so good. I know it wasn't perfect. I know there were a lot of glitches. I know my camera situation rattled me because I couldn't zoom in and zoom out and give you the whole full picture. I was looking forward to having that luxury so I could chat with you guys more. Thank you, Yolanda. I appreciate that very much. Y'all's comments are so sweet, and I can't wait to read them all. Marilyn, we love you. You're doing a great job with your live videos. Thank you. Well, I have a lot of things planned. Y'all want to see some of the stuff I got planned? Just this one here might be my next tutorial. It's not a wreath. Can you see this? The bunny? I'm doing backwards. He's got a basket here, and I'm going to do an arrangement coming out of his basket. He might be my next live, and he won't take long at all. That'll be a very fun project. But I did want to do one basic wreath tutorial just to give you an idea of how to build a base and the ribbon tails and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, but I hope you like the ribbon choices. And anyway, I'll be going on my Etsy shop as soon as I get him tweaked and buffed out and all that good stuff. But I really appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget, I will have this on replay. You will be able to watch it. It usually takes a couple of minutes for it to load up onto a replay. But thank y'all so much. Does anybody have any questions before I get off here? Thank y'all. Y'all are so sweet. I appreciate the encouragement so much. Let me get this closer. Would love to see a few stalks of cotton in it from the fields. You know, cotton would be pretty in this, wouldn't it? It'd be really pretty in this. I've often wondered, though, because, you know, the cotton, it's not, well, it's natural. So how would it do outside? I mean, that's a stupid question. It goes for outside. But how would it hold up on a wreath, I guess is what I'm pointing out. Because some of these wreaths do get in the weather. And I've often wondered how the cotton would do. So if anybody knows, if you've done one, if you put one in a wreath that goes outside, I would love to know, because I was looking at cotton today thinking, oh, that would be so pretty. Y'all are so sweet. Hey, Diane Brugget, I didn't see you in here. Thank you. Y'all are very encouraging. Hey, did y'all see? This is something else that I'm working on. Let's see if I can't get this. Let me get my camera adjusted again. Let me move this wreath. Can y'all see that? This is something that I've made for years. And I've got a line that I'm working on, and I'm going to be making a tutorial on how to make those. My custom Barbie furniture, I've literally been making them for decades. So, anyway, so that'll be coming up too. So, but all of my stuff's not going to be wreaths. It's Susie's Wreaths and Things. So there will be other things beside wreaths. But y'all, appreciate it. I love you all to death. Thank you so much for coming. It means the world to me. And I will go back and read your comments. And thank you for joining me. And I'm hoping to do this more often and get it smoother and quicker. And maybe you'll come back and join me again. Thanks, guys, so much. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Y'all have a happy New Year's.